You can use the following commands to make your life easier when designing in SolidWorks. If you want to make a corner round or chamfered, there is a command for exactly that. Just press on the edges you want to alter and press OK. Note that the feature might fail and crash SolidWorks if the size specified is too big for the part to accommodate. It can only manifest if it can be previewed. Also know that unless you hit the multiple radius option, all the fillets and chamfers will have the same size. 1 mm times 45 degrees is more than enough for human scale operations. If you want to make a toothed belt, you can make one of the teeth or gaps of the belt and just repeat it as a pattern. Just for reference, if you want to pattern in a straight line or flat grid, you can use the linear pattern. Just choose the directions you want to repeat it on, similar to the sketch pattern function. Select what you want to pattern, can be single features or entire objects. Choose if you want to skip any of the patterns, set the number of repeats and the distance between them, and you're done. Circular patterns work similarly, though it is through an axis instead of along a line. Use it in the same way. Now, in the case of a belt, you can also pattern a feature according to a curve. Just select as a direction one of the continuous edges of the belt and it will repeat that pattern. Just watch out for the spacing to make it as precise as possible to the real counterpart. Other pattern schemes also exist but are far too complex for use right now, though they are parametric, which may help if you plan on making many changes. Rib adds a vertical support between two angled surfaces of a body, but is used very little. Draft works in the same way as the draft command in the extrude boss base command, though now it can work for standalone surfaces, but it is also rarely used. Shell is a very important command which makes any part you click on hollow, leaving only a wall thickness that you specify. The surface you choose will work as the top of the box you create and will effectively be removed. You can go around that by using the multi-thickness settings tab instead of the parameters one. Note that inputting a large value may make the feature fail. Use a smaller size or make the part wider to fix this. Wrap and intersect are very rarely used and we will not go through them. Mirror does exactly that. It mirrors the body about a plane and is extremely useful when you want to make symmetrical parts, like a part housing for example. Reference geometry lets you create features that will help you in designing and constructing. The most useful one is to create a new plane based on other planes, point surfaces, or vertices. As rough advice, you need 3 points to fully define a plane. Though note that A, you can also sketch on a surface without creating a new plane, and B, by pressing and holding Ctrl and pressing and dragging a plane, you create a plane parallel to the first one. All you have to do after that is add another direction, specify the distance, or just eyeball it. You can also press an axis to create an axis on the center of a cylindrical part. That can be very useful for making circular and linear patterns, and for use on revolved features, like creating a circlet groove. The curves part is of little use for this project, so don't worry about it. Also, as a general trick, you can right-click and move the mouse up, down, left, or right to use shortcuts to the most used features.